The training at MassArt was just amazing, and I used to love creating things physically with my hands. Then every time I would present them, I would be talking about them as a place you experience and you walk through. In my mind, there was something already in me that saw this kind of forms and creations that were for people to experience. But if you're creating art for the public realm, you have to include the community. It cannot be your own personal curated museum. You have to be listening. There have to be an active and powerful member of your team as you're creating the artwork. They have to get to know the community before they put a paintbrush on a wall. They have to make sure that this project was what the community needed. Here in Salem, we get to connect with this Latino community. We get to celebrate their culture, and we get to really highlight also the heritage and the history that this community also has to offer Salem. So now to see the people in the community come in through projects like Casa de Abuela, taking agency, wanting to be part of the project, showcase their culture and tell their own stories in that space that we created for them. We've had community members walk through the project and say, you're missing this. You have to have this, and so they'll volunteer to bring you a vase and say, hey, this was also something that was classically found inside this place. So then we accept it and we add it, and we add their story also, because at the end of the day, the project is not done. It's always being reinvented and taking ownership of the community. If you were to bring your grandmother here, she would probably take you and talk about the items that connect with her and tell you how she utilized them or how her grandmother utilized them. And I think that's what's great. She could be a grandmother telling you her grandmother's story, and something that you may not have known ever about your family, you're now learning it through walking through this space.
Yinette is deserving of the Common Good Award because she put her heart into what she does. She cares about people beyond the arts, but to actually make people feel like their voice, their experience is welcome to a community.
I think of the many students I've taught here at MassArt, from while she was in school and also after she graduated. She's always been interested in giving back to whatever community she's in. When she was a student here, she gave back to this community. When she was an alumni and graduated, she came back and gave back to this community. When she was working, she invited me and gave me a tour, gave back to me to show what kind of work she was doing. So I think she's always been interested in broadening her own horizons, but also the people that she was associated with. And I think that's in MassArt's DNA. And I can't think of another student who's more deserving of this award.